Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. So recently CCP announced that they would be buffing Marauders, and because of this the price of Marauders has shot through the roof. Now we're going to be building 3 today, looking at the profitability of building Marauders, whether you can still make some decent ISK from it, and all the good stuff. So I'm not going to go into a great deal of detail, but basically as it currently stands, the Marauders get a module called Bastion, a Bastion siege module, and basically it puts them into what you would consider a sieged mode for a dread. It mobilizes them and gives them some buffs. Well, basically now they're getting double the DPS from this module, so obviously this will be a PvE beast and could potentially have repercussions for PvP as well. The price has started to drop now as people have started coming back onto to building these and dropping them on the market. So the price is slowly going down, to be expected. However, there will be a good number of people that aren't currently aware of the buff that's coming and will be pleasantly surprised obviously when it drops. The fact that it's getting double DPS, etc. And I was listening to a podcast earlier and someone was mentioning that it seems to be the way that CCP is kind of trying to push the nullsec alliances to possibly do more of their ratting in the Marauders instead of carriers. That basically CCP is trying to get people to move away from carriers and more into the Marauders. So they could be quite a sizable increase if these are useful. Now, they are still messing around and changing bits and bobs. However, I do expect this to potentially go live tomorrow on the 23rd of February, so there's no time like the present to build a few. And because of this, obviously the price has spiked because there weren't that many the Marauders on the market in general. So with the spikes that you can see here, obviously there has been a lot of buying of the Marauders, and that's obviously shot up the price quite considerably. At one point they were selling over 2.5 billion ISK. So I've got 3 Vargur BPCs here, and you can tell I've had these for a considerable amount of time because these are ME9 and TE18. Now you can't get them that high anymore. These are legacy BPCs from when CCP changed invention. So let's take a quick look at the cost of that. So times the average price where we were at with these is around 40k. So another 142 on top of the 150 mil there. So currently you can build one, assuming you could get the deflection array emitters roughly at the price that they were. You're looking at about 1.624 billion ISK. Now obviously in Jitter we have the installation price as well, which is quite hefty at 112 million. Which gives us 1.754 billion, and they're currently selling for 1.9. So let's do the quick calculation on that. So we're selling for 1.9 billion. We've got to take into tax though off that, so let's take tax off straight off. Then we have to take away the 54 billion. Gives us 39 million or 40 million profit, which is pretty poor when all said and done. Now obviously there are quite a lot of people producing these at the moment, but I'm expecting or hoping demand will outstrip supply again as this patch goes live, so I still plan to build these. Now potentially we could build these next door in a perimeter. As we said, we've got 1.5 billion build price in Jitter. Now I have been playing around with this and found something a little bit odd, but might as well share it. So in perimeter, the build cost is, obviously the job installation cost is slightly less, but oddly enough, buying the minerals in Jitter and taking them over to perimeter, it's going to cost me 1.74 billion. I'm not quite sure how that is being worked out because as it currently stands, I'm buying the stuff here. I expect it to be cheaper next door. In fact, let's have a quick look. So 33,109, 33,109, 34,000. So I'm not 100% sure if that is a quirk with CCP's coding, whether it's a quirk in the brain at the moment. I'm not seeing something or I'm not doing something, but something isn't quite right there. So let's have another look. So production, yep. Buy, still coming out at 1.74 billion ISK. So I'm struggling to understand why. 1.91. But yeah, that's basically what it's coming out at. So something is lying to me somewhere. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not quite sure where the kink is, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not going to bother to work it out because I'm not building it there anyway. I'm going to be taking it over to Ansem, and that is because at the moment time isn't a critical factor, but the installation cost is, and as we can see there, it's going to save me 900 million ISK times 3, so that is quite a substantial saving, and it's going to cost me the same amount of build, but it would do obviously in jitter because it's an NPC station that I'll be using. So we're moving these blueprints now to the NPC station. Anybody that is thinking about contacting me to say, oh, I could use your station, thank you very much, but I am not interested, thank you. There's only 2 people I trust. One of them's me, the other's not you. So due to some horrible calculations on my part, I am only able to install the 2 Vargurs at the moment. I need to acquire some more deflection shield emitters. But again, it's not an issue. These are basically here to stay, and the demand is likely to be quite high for a good period of time. So I'm going to get these deflection shield emitters built, because at the moment there are none in jitter, or not at a semi-reasonable price, and as it currently stands here where I am, there are none either. So a bit of a fail, but it happens. However, while looking through my items, I have discovered that I have the materials and the BPCs currently in the station that I am in, so I'm going to get some of these built. Unfortunately, it's going to take 2 hours, which is going to be unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. It was a mess up on my part, so I can't really complain a great deal. So again, I'm building these in an NPC station, so the job duration is pretty much twice as long as it would be in the perimeter station. Now, at the moment, I'm more bothered about saving the overall cost here. However, this decision may come back to bite me. At the moment, obviously, demand is outstripping supply for the battleships or the Marauders. However, this isn't likely to be the case forever, and although if the patch does drop tomorrow, obviously I imagine there will be another surge in people buying them. But again, there is a potential that I could miss the boat somewhat here, but I'm not necessarily worried, as I expect demand to be quite high going forward for these. But obviously the margins could be quite tight, and if they're already tight, there'll be people obviously building quite a lot of these and will be in a hurry to get rid of them, so that could drive the price down quite a lot. So if anybody is in the market for a Marauder at the moment and obviously wincing at the price, I would basically say hold out, wait for basically supply and demand to do its thing. Price is very likely to drop, although that may take a little bit of time, because at the moment the Tech 2 components are obviously selling out because everybody is in a rush to buy them up to build the Marauders. But give it a week or two and the prices will drop back in line to pretty much where they are today, as we know with most Tech 2 ships, to pretty much the point where they're unprofitable. So hold out if you are in the market and don't stress too much. The price will come down. You just won't get one if you're not willing to pay the extra in the first couple of weeks, basically. So if you made it this far and you haven't subscribed, then please do think about it. This is the general stuff that I do on the channel if you enjoy this kind of content. And with that, thanks everybody for your time, and I'll speak to you again soon.